Hello, my beautiful Aries. It is time for your monthly reading for the month of May 2021. I think it's a really exciting time. It is spring where I am. Yes, we will take that card. If it wanted so badly to jump out at us, it must be necessary. So I'm going to do a little bit of a different reading for you today. I originally heard of this, or I should say spread. The spread originally was called the Love Life Thermometer. So I'm just going to make it the Life Thermometer. So it's not specifically about love life. It could be about anything. It can either be general, or if you want to home in on a question about something particular, you can apply the answers to that exact situation. So while I'm shuffling, just think about what question you might have in mind, and maybe this will give you some answers. Or it could just be a general reading about life in general for the next month, May. Happy, happy May. Let's have a good one. I know the world is a weird place right now, but in spite of that, we're going to have a great time. I actually believe it. Well, we Aries always have a great time on some level, right? Even when things are falling apart around us, we usually, unless something is so horrifically devastating, we usually find a way around it. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so this is your life, okay? Right now, the old King of Swords is going to represent your life. And then we're going to do, let's see. Those are going to be the cards of this spread. So let's start with the King of Swords. I won't flip the others yet just because we can kind of concentrate on him. So the King of Swords is very much, so this is going to represent your life for the month of May. And he is a really strong and good guy, very intelligent, okay? So there is going to be a reason this month to truly use your intelligence and communication skills. And the great thing about the Swords cards is they're very truth-seeking. They like to cut through the BS and get right to the point and be quite communicative and learning new things that get you where you want to go. So that's going to be your life for this month. Something about learning, something about the intellect or communication or getting to the truth of the matter. This is a really positive card. I happen to love it. I'm really into the swords these days. One of my favorites is the Knight of Swords right now because he's very determined, and I would say all the swords have a level of determination to them, because when you communicate and when you are trying to get to the point of the matter, obviously you have to have a level of determination to create that. Now the swords cards can often be perceived as quite cool, aloof, even cold, maybe a bit uncaring. The people that these cards represent are often very cut and dried. They are not gushy. They are not, it doesn't mean that they have no passion, but they are not as expressive as they are. They're not necessarily that expression about, expressive about their passion about something. They're practical. They will talk about what's, somewhat more tangible. Like, for example, I have a daughter who's a Libra, and when I do a Celtic cross spread for her, which has the cards that are like about hopes and dreams and attitudes and things like that, she has absolutely no interest in that. She only wants to hear about things that are going to happen, that are absolutely concrete, and that's how these people who are represented by swords often are. They are just grounded in practicality, and it's quite interesting. But maybe that's also a message here about your life for the month. If you're a person like me, I'm also Aries, who is more, ruled by passion and fiery nature and impulsiveness and way crazier than this type of energy. Sometimes the swords come in to kind of say, be calm, just stay on the path. You don't have to lose your mind about it. You don't have to be so overly impassioned about everything under the sun. Let's just stick to the, whatever the thing is that we're trying to achieve here, and be a little cool about it. Cool your jets a little, Aries, because you're always inflamed about something. That's how I kind of look at it. Now, you might be although Aries, I find, When I generalize about Aries, it's so much more um, okay to do that than with certain other signs, because some signs are kind of all over the map. But I find even the most unimpassioned Aries is still quite passionate compared to other signs. So when I say you're so fiery, you might not consider yourself so fiery, but you might be way more fiery than most people. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so that's your life. And then this is something to make note of, which I think is kind of a cool card. Okay, and it's probably you because it's the Fire Knight, Knight of Wands, a guy who's phenomenal at putting things into action. And you, Aries, do that all the time. So, I mean, there are exceptions to everything. So, when I generalize, I don't generalize with every sign like this. Possibly because I know more about Aries and I love Aries people, so I hang around them probably a lot of the time, and I've had a lot of experience with them. Um, I had a situation many years ago where one of my best friends, who was married to an Aries guy, I used to live in Pennsylvania, and I had moved to Canada. And when we had been teenagers, I had met this guy briefly, and we had a bit of an exchange. He had, we were young. I was talking to my friend about guys and whatever, and he said, "Well, that's not gonna." I'm trying to think what he said exactly. It was something like, "Well, I'm gonna marry her, so she doesn't need to know or be interested in other guys," or something like that. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, right." Well, they did end up getting married, and years later, she came to visit me in Canada, and then she said the whole time she was with me, she's like, "Oh, Dave said that exact thing that just came out of your mouth, some ridiculous line, right? Something that nobody would ever say other than me, or no two people would ever say this line twice." And she'd say, "He said that exact thing last week," or "He did that exact thing and he feels the same way. He only likes those two bands of that, type of music, or just like you." And like, it was just like that the whole time. So then I was going to visit her shortly thereafter, and she was like the whole time, "Oh God, I don't want you guys to meet each other. You're going to be at each other's throats because you're so similar. You're probably going to hate each other's guts and all this." Well, I went there for the visit, and it turned out this was like the long lost brother I never had. We agreed on everything. We totally adored each other. And it was so weird. She was so happy that everything worked out. But we figured out that we were, I know there are a million exceptions, and some people don't believe in astrology and they say it has nothing to do with anything. But we discovered that we were born within like 100 miles of each other, the same year, and I think 2 days apart or something. And we had so many similarities. It was absolutely insane. Like, if I could have told you, like, I mean, I don't remember all the lines, and I'm sure some of them aren't politically correct enough to say right now, but at least on this type of a show. But it was all very strong opinions about musical things and foods and things like that. I can remember one of the things was, I had just blown into town, and he was like, "What kind of food? What restaurant do you want to go to? We'll go to I can't even talk. I'm so excited about this silly thing." And I was like, "Mr. Pizza," and he's like, "Oh no, that was my favorite, but it's gone now." And then I said, "You know what they do in Canada now? I know they do this everywhere now, but at the time they didn't do it in Pennsylvania, and they did do it where I lived in Canada." I said, "They put pineapple on pizza," and he was like, and I swear, one of the things I always said was, "Can you believe that, pineapple on a pizza? Do they put apples and oranges on it too?" is what I used to first say when I heard about this phenomenon. And he said, "Do they put apples and oranges on it too?" So it was just stuff like that. Totally ridiculous. But I'm just saying this because it made me think of the whole astrology thing. So I'm off on this tangent. Anyway, back to your reading. The Fire Knight, Aries, he's fabulous. He is brave and strong, and probably a lot of qualities that you have. Although this could be somebody else somebody strong and brave and handsome and knight-like in their approach. And when you need, assertiveness, this card sometimes comes along to give you that kind of energy, because you do. So if it's something to be made note of, Maybe it's that you're going to have somebody like this come into your life. Maybe it's you need the energy of this card to do something that you're going to do in the next little while. Maybe it's you want to make a job change, or you want to put something into action, like take on a new hobby or learn something really interesting and different, maybe about business, so you can start a business. Or maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, or you want to build a playhouse so you have this cool little sanctuary for you and your kids to hang out in. Or it could be anything. It could be any course of action that you are going to take. But there's the Knight of Wands on your side to make that happen. So this card is general advice. So let's see how we can turn the Eight of Wands into advice. Well, the Eight of Wands is about swift action. Something's coming in fast and furious. And it's often called the arrows of love. Sometimes the thing that comes in so swiftly is a love experience. So if you want to turn that card into advice, I'd say be ready, be able to go with it, be ready to take strong action about it. It's an exciting card. I mean, we Aries tend to like excitement, and here you've got two wands. It's about strong decisiveness, this card, and plowing into a situation, not being hesitant. And this is about fast action, fast-moving action. Now, we Aries tend to be ready to jump on the bandwagon when things go fast and furious, so I might not have to give you that advice. That might already be part of your personality. So let's see what we've got for what's going on right now. The Wheel of Fortune. Something faded, something, that you really don't have control over, although I would argue that we have some control over almost everything and anything. So the Wheel of Fortune, maybe because of all the goings on in the world, you feel like you don't have control over a lot of things, and we don't right now. I mean, things are kind of crazy. But I have found, if you haven't heard one of my readings before, to me this is a card of luck. I get the Wheel of Fortune, and remember, I'm Aries too, so this is my reading too, so I'm very, very interested in it. This is a very lucky card, so what's going on right now, I'm going to say, is lucky. That you must be having some kind of luck, even in a world of chaos. So that's a very good, positive thing. I'm really happy with this reading so far. This is feeling really energetic and positive to me. And there's going to be some kind of lucky happenstance here, which is great. I think we need it. What's going to happen next, Aries? Let's see. The Devil. Ooh, a lot of people freak out when they see the Devil. I do not, because the Devil is something that can be managed, something we definitely have control over. But the Devil is something to definitely look at, because it can be an addiction, an obsession, or something we do that is not necessarily good for us. And let's face it, we Aries are very extreme people. We do everything to the extreme, or a lot of things to the extreme. I don't know about you, but I like to drink way too much wine. I like exciting food. I eat very healthy food, so, I can get away with eating a little more than I would if I was eating mounds of butter or something. But we're self-indulgent people, generally speaking. So, this is an issue for us. But we're also very, very driven. And so we can really beat ourselves up about some things, like in ways that, can impede our progress. Like if you have any kind of internal dialogue, that's kind of my go-to lately when I see the Devil. The Devil can be about addictions and obsessions, no doubt. But I think almost everybody who has those things is also hard on themselves. So I think we have to really be careful about the way we speak to ourselves in our head, and to be really positive and to be your own best cheerleader. Like that is so important. If you drink too much, tone that down. I know you can. I'm not even saying if you can, because you can. You are a powerful person, and you have a nature that can do anything. So if you smoke too much, if you do anything too much, if you're shopping too much and going broke over it, you can't afford it, don't do it. If it's hard, find a way to make it easier. Find yourself a diversion that is good for you, because you can do that. Instead of going shopping, go for a really long walk or a run or a bike ride, or, it's getting to be that time of year you can do things outside. Learn something. One of the things I want to learn, my boyfriend's going to teach me tennis if I ever get to see him again because he lives far away. So, that's something I want to do. Maybe you have somebody that you can learn to play tennis with right now, or if you already know, you can go out and do that instead of sitting around having the extra glass of wine or whatever. Trust me, I'm not against wine. I am the biggest promoter of drinking wine in the world, so I'm not telling you never to have a glass of wine. But, if we tend to do too much, it's not good, and there are ways around it. I love to drink so much wine that I've even gotten into drinking the fake wine and people go, "Oh my God, that's so horrible." And I thought it would be horrible, but I'm kind of okay with it. It kind of tastes like wine with a bit of a vinegary finish, and I like vinegar, so I think it's kind of okay. So, you can replace bad things with so-called good things. You can do things differently. You can change your mindset. You can, you know, freeze your credit card in a block of ice if you don't want to touch it and go shop with money you don't really have. Um, whatever the thing is that's bad for you, and replace it with something good. Like, instead of going out for a drinking party, if you have kids at home, have a tea party with them. Just replace the bad thing with a good thing, and everything's going to be just fine. I think it's a really cool reading. I mean, I get the Devil and Temperance a lot, both warnings to not do too much bad stuff. So it doesn't freak me out at all. Um, I think, generally speaking, this is a really fantastic reading. Enjoy your good luck this month. Get to the bottom of matters and figure them out. Put lots of fantastic stuff in action. Be strong, be positive, be powerful. I know you will, Aries, because that's kind of how we are. So have a fantastic month, the best ever, in fact. And I hope to talk to you soon.